Sure. Well, I'm excited. For those of you that don't know Geoff Beasley, he is the most energetic, awesome dude you will ever meet. He truly has a passion for serving his communities. He used to own Beasley Technology, and now he is the new owner of Godofredo Pizza Place and the Dunkin Theatre, and he's remodeled it. And he's going to talk to us about that. But he's also Rotarian from the Cushing Club, and he actually single-handedly got Steve Carpenter back in here after how many years? The male version of Dolores Lemon. So, you know, I'm just saying. So I'm just going to let Geoff have it from here because he knows a lot of people in here. I'm shocked every time I'm around Geoff just how many people he knows. Cushing may be a town to the east of us, but he's definitely a Payne County man. So.
Thank you, Glenna. Good to see you. Good to see everybody. Got a lot of friends in the room. Hey, are you going to pay attention, Roger, or what? Good. Hey, thank you all for having me today. I'm so excited to see you all. My name is Geoff Beasley, and I am from Cushing. Getting a little feedback. Need a microphone, but for the two of you on Zoom today, hello. All right. So I brought a PowerPoint just for fun, show you guys some cool pictures. My life has changed significantly over the last 3 to 4 weeks. We opened our doors to our restaurant on August the 23rd, called Godofredo's Pizzeria and Tap Room. Since then, I've worked 118, 116-hour weeks every week since. So this has been the first lunch that I've missed. So my mind is reeling, wondering what's going on. Hopefully everything is going well. So thank you for having me, and thanks for pulling me away from my work, because as you guys know, as fellow business folks, you guys know that that's absolutely necessary. So let's get this running. There we go. So we are located in what is now called the Broadway District in Cushing. The Broadway District is a conglomeration of future downtown businesses and current downtown businesses that want to see Cushing return to its glory. Many people have said, I have not seen the streets this full since the 1960s. And I said, well, that's great. So I haven't been alive that long, but good to know that. I'm really glad that we're booming and that things are moving along. So this is my family. I owned an IT company that we started in 2004 in Cushing. We started from nothing and worked long weeks, just like we're doing right now. It takes that to make a business work. Worked long 70-hour weeks. The first year, we made $1,600. Last year, in 2019, we sold our business. We had 70 employees, and we did $17 million in revenue out of Cushing, Oklahoma. One day at a time, one prayer at a time, one family member, 1 week of tithing, another week of tithing, and God took care of us. I truly believe that I've been surrounded through my rough times through people that are prayerful, and through my good times, and that's really the common denominator, and God getting us through all those difficult times. So you guys ever feel that way, even when you're not quite on track? You've got people around you that are looking out for you, praying for you when you're sick or when things are rough. And I really give God all the credit to what He's done for us. So very blessed. I'm 42. I lost my first family to work. I was married for 12 years, and lost my first family, and I've been remarried now for 6, and we have started a new family. In addition to my beautiful 3 children, we now have a 4th baby girl. Her name is Lila, little Lila. She's our miracle baby. We worked for 4 years to have Lila. We did in vitro fertilization, and we finally have a miracle baby after traveling the country. We finally landed in Denver, Colorado, and what an amazing blessing. And my wife was always meant to be a mother, and she's always been a mother to my kids. But this was the desire of her heart. And so for those of you who have a desire in your heart, I wanted to share with you that God is faithful. So we own the Tidewater Winery, my wife and I. her name is Dawn, and Dawn is a Philadelphia girl, has family from the Northeast, and so I get a lot of fun culture from Dawn and her Yankee family. They're always challenging me. They're always interesting, and starting an Italian restaurant, I'm always challenged by their thought process and their beliefs and their taste. That's always fun. But this is a little picture of the winery. If you haven't been, you should visit. We have a lot of fun there, and we have some great wine. We have the best Moscato in Oklahoma. I would challenge anybody to take the Moscato challenge. It's called O Moscato, and O does not stand for Oklahoma. So use your imagination. The Dunkin Theatre. The Dunkin Theatre, this logo was put together using the original crest from above the stage. We actually had a photographer come in and actually recreate the crest. HD stands for Hiram Duncan. And we still believe that Hiram is present in the building. On show days and anytime things are stressful, the most random things occur. And it's almost like he's just watching us scramble so that it can all come together right before the show begins. Everything from plumbing to wiring to the most random occurrences I've ever seen in any place of business have occurred here. So the legend is that Hiram still roams the building and is having fun with us young folk. This is an original picture of the Dunkin Theatre. The Dunkin Theatre was built in 1926. Hiram and Josie Duncan. They were farmers in the area, and they wanted to give back to their community. I've learned this story of Hiram after we were already progressing along our journey. And strangely enough, I read an article about an old article in the 30s that talked about Hiram and Josie's contributions to the community. And it's almost like you could take the things he was saying and put them right in my mouth, and the things that we've been talking about over the last several years. It was quite moving. It was also a little spooky because it's almost like like I said, he's still around. And it was quite interesting to see his voice and the things that we're doing even to this day. So really the root of this project is to truly bring back the Broadway District for Cushing. I really feel like it's one of the last things we have from a historical standpoint that Cushing can hold on to. And it's one of the most necessary things that we need to do as a community to be able to last the next 100 years. And so this really has an opportunity to be me and my family's legacy and what we leave behind. I think we all want to do something that we're remembered for a long time to come. And I hope that this is something that really pays off for many generations to come. This is the theater before we started the remodel. 2016, we had a major earthquake take place. 5.2 earthquake damaged the theater while people were in the auditorium. And that November, that was the last show that the theater ran until this year. So it's been a very long remodel process. We've spent $3 million on the venture, and I feel like we have a lot to show for our investments. So here's the new theater. Fully restored, outside all the way in. We've expanded the lobby out onto the sidewalk, or even with the sidewalk. When we pulled back the historical layers, we found some of the coolest plasterwork in the front lobby, and so we decided to celebrate that. We brought back the same look on the tile. We replaced the florets. Actually, in this picture, you can still see the florets on the columns are still missing. People do the most random things. So somewhere in the 60s or 70s, they decided to go in and just chip the most beautiful sculpted florets off the front so that they could put movie posters up. So just heartbreaking. So we actually recast the florets out of existing florets that were on the building. And just this last week, we finally finished the florets. And I felt like that was probably the last big thing on the outside that we had remaining. So pretty exciting. This is a very, very recent photo. In the balcony hadn't been used since segregation. They would use the balcony to send Black folks upstairs and keep them segregated from the rest of the community. Pretty sad use of an amazing area. And it's pretty cool to see all folks coming together today to enjoy the show in harmony. That's pretty neat to see how far we've come. We have rocker seats and tables on all of the seats in the balcony. Seats 49, so it's very limited seating. So if you ever are looking at an event and you're really excited about the event and want to be in the balcony, you better buy tickets quick because there's only 49 seats. So that's a little sneak peek there. We have ices, love ices. I thought it's fun in life to say, you know, I could probably die tomorrow and be happy I have ices now. So I don't know what that conversation is going to be next week, but I like to fill my life with things, people and experiences that you can say, you know what, I could die tomorrow and it'd be pretty good, right? Be in good shape. Well, ices is one of those for me. So here's a picture of one of the most recent shows that we just did. This was a band called Motherfolk, and the opener was Fox Royale. We have about a $250,000 lighting system. It's just incredible inside. We picked it up during COVID. There was a company that spent about $1.8 million on lighting and sound, and of course folded because they couldn't have events. So my father-in-law and I, we flew to Phoenix, Arizona, and rented a U-Haul and loaded lights for an entire day. $250,000 worth of lights. We loaded them up, hauled them back, and I got to know my father-in-law a whole lot better that week. So we had a lot of fun, and but it really was a very long drive back and a very long day getting them loaded. And so from there, we learned what it would take to actually put on the highest end production that you can have, which takes a lot. It takes new programming. You have to learn a new programming language. There's a $60,000 lighting board to power those lights. So just every day you learn something new when you're building back something of this magnitude. So that's a picture of our lights. One of the things that we had talked about with the theater, and especially even with COVID now, it's even more difficult, but for many years now, theaters have really been struggling, right? With the release of internet streaming and the dual release of studios sending us up to HBO Max and to Netflix and other places, it's really hurt movie theaters. So one of the things that we were concerned about is, okay, if we open this theater, how in the world are we going to survive? Because it just doesn't make sense on paper. The overhead, you can't get enough folks in often enough to stay consistent and still be in the black. Not looking to make a fortune, but would like for it to sustain itself for many years to come. So there was an old department store called the Peters Building. The Peters Building in the 60s and 70s was the finest department store in the area, probably one of the nicest in Payne County. Well, the Peters Building just so happened to be connected to the Dunkin Theatre to the east. A man named Charlie Myers, also a Stillwater guy, runs around. You guys know him. So Charlie Myers owned the building. And I just had this thought. I was like, how can I make the theater work long term? And I noticed the Peters Building. I went and talked to Charlie and I said, I think I want to buy that Peters Building and turn it into something really cool. I said, okay. So we worked it out with Charlie and Celia, and we turned it into a restaurant as part of the Dunkin Theatre. We gutted it. We tore the floors out. I mean, we're talking rodeo arena inside. We're dirt floors. We removed everything, all of the plumbing, the electrical. We started over again. The only thing that we kept were the beautiful brick walls and the metal ceiling. And the metal ceiling is gorgeous. So we have a beautiful, now silver metal ceiling from front to back. And so we decided that was going to be the way we were going to make this work. People thought we were crazy. They still think we're crazy for investing this much money in Cushing, of all places. But the naysayers are coming to town, and they're enjoying the food. They really love the food. They love the people, and it has such a vibrant feel. And so our goal now is to repeat this over and over and over again down the road, down the street, both sides of the street, all around, and get people on board to go with us on this journey. So this is Godofredo's Pizzeria and Tap Room. Godofredo's, you say, that sounds Italian. It's actually not Italian. It's actually Spanish. It means Godfrey. Godfrey is what my Spanish friends would call me because they couldn't say Jeffrey in Spanish with a G. So Jeffrey with a J, no problem. But when they see the G, they're like, Godofredo. I was like, okay, sounds good. The real secret, though, is that Godofredo comes from when I was in high school. This beautiful Colombian woman. Her name was Clara Juliana Infante Doris. And Clara, she'd say, "Oh, Godofredo. Oh, Godofredo." And I'd say, "Hi, Clara." So I've always thought about Clara. She was never my girlfriend, but she was always very sweet, and she represents kindness to me. And so I thought, what better name for the pizzeria than Godofredo's? It also goes along the line of, you're crazy for naming a business after yourself, right? There's nothing more accountable than putting your name on something. Beasley Technology. Lord have mercy. Roger, I wish it wasn't Beasley Technology some days, right? But I had to stay in the game, right? Had to stay in the game to the very end. And that's my commitment to this, just like the IT company. So come to Godofredo's and experience a fat boy Italian dinner, because it's everything we do is hybrid. So if it tastes great and it looks great, we're open-minded to doing it. So all the rules are out the window, right? So we serve a Oklahoma Fat Boy 14-inch pizza. All right, it's 320 grams of Neapolitan style dough, very authentic Italian dough. But it's 320 grams. 280 grams is a standard Italian pizza, right? Oklahomans want to be, they want a good sized pizza. So we moved up to a 14-inch pizza, and people are raving about it. They love it. It's got a big bone to the crust. I'll show you pictures here in a minute. Here's a couple other pictures of the front. You got the new gold insets. Really like those on the fronts. We're a fantastic game day location. So if you want to get out of town for a date night, get your bride, get your husband in the car, and head over. It takes 20 minutes to get there, guys. It's nothing, right? What we have to do to win your business, we have to be consistent. We have to be friendly. We have to love on you while you're there, and you guys will come over and over again. Just like I go to Clicks. Why do I go to Clicks? Because they're friendly, they're consistent. I have 25 minutes with my bride that I can spend with her and only her, right? No outside interference, interruptions. There's something magical to this, and people are biting. Like, they're coming in from all over the place, and it's that same experience. They love being with one another and spending that time together to experience something new. Beautiful bar. There's granite throughout the entire both properties. So nice surfaces to dine and to have your beverages on. We have a really high-end espresso machine. All of our bartenders are barista trained. So if you're over in our area, come by and get a great latte, coffee, macchiato, Americano. We do them all. So check that out. Here's a picture of one of our pizzas. Nice big bones, what we call it. It's got a thin middle and a big boned outside. These are cooked in a brick-fired oven. It has a rotating floor. You set the pizza in. Make sure you get it. We actually throw them from scratch. We make 300 dough balls every day by hand, and we stretch the dough. Wait, stretch the dough, wait, stretch the dough, wait, and then we actually ball the dough and then allow it to rise. And we actually do a 24-hour process. So I've got to make dough for tomorrow today, and if I run out of dough, I'm in big trouble, right? So establishing what our pars are going to be has been a real challenge, been a lot of fun, big learning experience. So you'll get, every once in a while, you'll get a little black bubble from the oven. Here's our fettuccine Alfredo, shrimp fettuccine Alfredo. It's delicious. Strawberry salad's one of my favorites. There's a chicken fettuccine. This is one of my favorite appetizers. It's a caprese salad. It's got fresh tomato, mozzarella, basil with a balsamic reduction on top, salt and pepper. Delicious. Favorite drink, the 2020 Blueberry Mule. Why do we call it the 2020 Mule? Because we've been trying to sell the daggum thing since 2020. Somebody said, well, we are open in 2021. You can't call it the 2020 Mule. I was like, you want to bet? It's the 2020 Mule. I never want to forget how hard this thing was to make this happen. The menu has stories throughout, so there's always fun things throughout. My favorite dessert pizza is called the La La Lila, so named after Lila. And for many years to come, people are going to be talking about the La La Lila. It's the best dessert pizza I've ever had anywhere in the country. It is worth the trip just for the pizza. But La La Lila, we find ourselves talking to our babies, and nobody else is around, it's almost embarrassing how we sound, right? I love you, Lila. Love you, la 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 la. Can you say it? La 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 la? She can't talk, but I'm sitting here goofy as all get out talking to my little baby girl. So that ended up being the dessert, the la 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 la. All right. So which just depends on what kind of pizza you like, but we have fresh tomatoes. Oh, the dessert pizza, good. Yes. So we have a vanilla mascarpone cheese. That is the key. Very sweet. That's the base. From there, we move over to a cookie butter. We have dollops of cookie butter, crunched up speculoos cookies, Nutella, and then finished off with a powdered sugar. It is heavenly. So good. We have the sister to the La La Lila called the HPIC. It's the head peach in charge. It's named after my favorite bar manager, which she so kindly let me name it that. I think it's funny. So if you ever want the sister to the La La Lila, get the HPIC, and it has roasted peaches and caramel over the vanilla mascarpone cheese. Very, very good. So, yes. So one of our goals was to have the coldest beer anywhere in Oklahoma. And people make the compliment many times. And internally, it sets me on fire. Like, this is the nicest place in Cushing. And that's a compliment, right? But inside, I'm like, I don't care, right? I don't care. Like, we think bigger than that, right? I want to be excellent in all things that we do. And so we're really going to set our targets much higher than just Cushing. And the same thing we should do in Stillwater. It's not about being the best in Stillwater. It's about being, in the IT business, you had to be global, right? It's about being globally exceptional. It's about being exceptional, in the United States. They're well known across the country, right? So we want to have those types of standards and set our goals that high. So our tap beer, we started off right. We have the coldest beer I've ever had in my life, ever. And I was a Mick Ultra, Bud Light guy, but I am now really enjoying all of the different types of beers that we have in Oklahoma. So we try to celebrate the craft of beer making in Oklahoma. And so you'll always have something new, different, and you'll always still be able to get at least a Mick Ultra or a Bud Light on tap. But you're always going to hear me gnawing on you. Try this. You need to try this. So fantastic. We have a tap room in the back that's at 33, 34 degrees all the time. It goes underground because we've tore the floors out. We were able to put a glycol system in. The beer runs against a 29-degree glycol line, and out it comes into a chilled beer glass. And so we do a 20-ounce, so it's larger than a pint glass, and so you get a lot of value, and you'll get just tipping the ice right as it is poured. So it's an amazing experience for those of you who enjoy libations. Nobody in this room, surely. So got a fun thing coming. So we have gotten our feet wet. We've had some great events so far, but it's time to do a big event. October the 12th, we have Tiffany coming to the theater. We put the tickets on sale last night, officially. So today you can still grab a few balcony seats. We have some really fun things this fall. Next up after Tiffany, we have Concert with a Conscience with Steve Carpenter's group. I'm really excited about that in November. That's about to be announced on the website this week. And then for those of you who missed the Letterman, well, the Letterman are coming to Cushing. They're not coming to Stillwater. They're coming to Cushing. So you guys will have to come over and enjoy the Letterman in November the 20th. They're putting on a big show in Cushing as well. We finish off the season December the 11th with the Duncan Christmas Spectacular featuring the Imaginaries. The Imaginaries are a fantastic Hallmark Christmas group. They have music of all different types, but they are well known for doing Hallmark movies. And so we'll have a big Christmas Spectacular there, and we'll have the debut of the Duncan Doodles. So we have a lot of doodle owners in our community, and so we've decided to come together and have a fun doodle club called the Duncan Doodles. And so we will line the streets for the Christmas parade with Duncan Doodles as far as you can see, or maybe 20, but we'll see how that goes. So that's what's in store. We have a lot of fun things in store, and I don't know how we're looking on time, but yeah, 12:48. That's amazing. I usually pretty long-winded. That's good. Let me fix that. No, I'm just kidding. So it's been an amazing adventure. This slideshow originally was set up to kind of show the renovation, where we were, and where we've come. But that's old news, right? It's old news. If we're going to continue to progress and we're going to achieve the bigger goal, the macro goal of making the Broadway District, I got to call Roger and get the next engineering letter, and I've got to call Steve and get the next stupid building covered under insurance, right? I've got to continue forward. And if I look backwards and we celebrate the things we have done, you're not going to do anything new and different and cool. So it's time to start thinking big. So what's the next thing in my mind? Well, to the east, there is a place called Old Songs Sung Here, and a lady named Connie Liebenau, super amazing lady, got real sick. She got COVID this year and decided that she had had enough antiquing and decided to sell her buildings. So she had two buildings side by side, and they're right next to Godofredo's Pizzeria and Tap Room. So we picked up the buildings, and the idea is to put a supper club in the front side that is connected to the restaurant. So the restaurant will overflow into a different environment that is very private, very elite, membership based. If you have a bourbon that you like, we'll locker the bourbon for you, your wine, your beer, whatever your preference is. We will have a special menu for those folks that are members. So when you come, you'll have a special experience that's just focused on you as our client. And then you'll have a place to have private meetings that's upscale, enjoyable, and private. There's not a place like that in Cushing that you really can have a good lunch meeting in private, especially since the country club, has changed hand. They don't do food anymore. So I would usually have client meetings at the country club because I knew there wasn't going to be a whole lot of people there, and I could go off in the corner and have a private meeting. Well, I think with all the oil, I think that's a real need in our town. There's a lot of business in Cushing, as you guys know. That leaves some building left though, on the back side. We're going to put in a director's suite, a 25 to 30 seat, high-end experience theater. And there's a purpose. There's a reason for it. It's not just to build another theater. We're really struggling with having to show the same movie for 2 solid weeks. So we have to show any kind of first release. You have to do what they call a clean run. Monday all the way through Sunday has to be the same show. So it actually starts on Friday. So from Friday to Thursday, that's a movie week. The problem is the first week, everybody in town goes and sees the show. And at the end of the week, you're like, okay, I've got a lot of overhead, but no customers, right? So what we will do is that will allow us to actually shift the shows into that secondary theater when we need to, and we can have different shows in the 2 theaters, or we can, for overflow purposes, we can have it showing in both. So that versatility is way worth the investment on making that other theater work. And so this will give you a recliner style seating, high-end sound, very private, and just a cool experience. So that's what we're planning to do there. And then the second store will be a retail store. We'll focus on being the greatest pizzeria store in the country. If you're a pizza fan, you can find fantastic pizza gifts. We can talk and celebrate different styles of pizza and how to cook pizza and how to do that. I've never seen it done before, right? Well, who am I to say that a random retail store is going to survive and do well in Cushing, Oklahoma, right? So what do? You got to make it big. So that's my idea currently, to try to make that store big so that it survives online, does well, and then it provides the opportunity for folks like you guys to come and see something new, different, and exciting. So that's where we're headed. That's the brainstorm of the day, and it's already in action. I checked on the building last night. They have all the plaster removed out of Connie's building. All of the non-supporting walls, anything else, gone, cleaned up, and we're ready for engineering. I'm actually meeting with Designers Inc. today, this afternoon. They're actually coming at 3 and starting the next project. So I'm pretty excited. So what kind of questions you guys have? You guys want to know anything or yes, sir. Good question. So the question was, what's the seating like in general in the theater? So the downstairs floor seats, there are 305 There are 300, pardon me, I'm wrong about that. There's 250 seats down low. We have a total capacity of 305. That includes the ADA seats. They are fixed down low. And then there is a standing room section in the front that will handle 100 standing room or 50 temp seating. So great spot for a small tableside service there in the front. Would work really well for a comedy, anything like that, an awards gala. It would also work really well for overflow for MMA fights, boxing matches, some fun things like that. Along the same line, something that's different about our theater on opening nights, you guys ever want to experience something different and cool? On an opening night, Hiram presents his famous vaudeville act. So you're there for a show, you show up and you're like, all right, let's go watch Cry Macho this Friday night, right? You show up, you're thinking that it's just gonna be a normal movie. But when you get there, 7:30 rolls around, and instead of the movie starting, the screen rolls up. And for 5 minutes, we try to knock your socks off with something new, different. You look over at your date and you're like, well, that was interesting. Carry on, Clint Eastwood, let's go. So it's called the Vaudeville Act, something different all the time. So I'm always looking for new, great opportunities for talent. So if you know folks that want to come and have a night on us, that they're talented, we basically just entertain them for the evening, let them watch the movie, or come over and if they're a musician, come over and play in the restaurant side, which we also have a full lighting and sound set up on the restaurant side. A lot of fun. I have my eye on a guy right now that is a bullwhip performer. So, I mean, just like perfect vaudeville acts, right? What's next? So get him up there. He may have some glow in the dark bullwhips. Now I got you. You're excited, right? And so, I had to be careful though, because they said, yeah, he does bullwhips of fire and all. I'm like, I see it already. The bullwhip guy just burned down my whole place. So, but always something new, different. We want you guys to always enjoy what's going on. So we have regular concessions that are amped up. So our concession prices are really, really down to earth. So candy's $2.50, popcorn, the large, extra large, big 170-ounce popcorn's $5. We have great butter. We cook it with the right oil. It tastes amazing. So we have ices, like I told you guys earlier. We have fantastic pretzels and beer cheese. So it's not just your average, pill and stick pretzel pack. I mean, we want it to be amazing. We do spinach artichoke dip in the theater on some nights. We do a Duncan's pulled pork nachos, which are fantastic. We do a brisket dog with beer cheese. So even if you're just in the mood to come to the theater but you're hungry, you can come in even on the concession side and get something good to eat. So, but they are all connected. So you can order from the concession stand and it goes right into the kitchen on the restaurant side. We'll deliver a pizza to your seat wherever you're sitting, and we'll deal with the recourse of that later. So, yes, sir. So the whole place is the Dunkin Theatre. From the Able Commission standpoint, it's all the Dunkin Theatre with a DBA of Godofredo's Pizzeria and Tap Room. So you can have beer, liquor, anything that you like, anywhere in the facility. So a round of beer? All right. Well, I could probably get you one at least. I brought you guys some gift cards today. Yes, sir. We have to supplement, and we've had a supplement since I bought. So from the very first day that we were there. It's only a 3-acre vineyard. It's only 2 of those acres is actually vineyard. So the whole property is 3 acres, and the Moscato has been so popular even long before we purchased the winery in 2019 that we have to bring in wine juice to pull it off. So if you haven't tried, and unfortunately I'm literally promoting something that I can't get you until March, but at some point you need to try the Moscato. The white Moscato from the winery is to die for. It is absolutely amazing. In a close second is Red Rush, which is the red Moscato, and we have enough of it to get through the year. But with the restaurant opening, we've sold so much wine. We obviously carry the Tidewater Winery wines at Godofredo, so that's pretty cool. And also, I found out it was illegal because I owned the winery in my name and I had the pizzeria or the theater, And Able Commission says, we're not presenting you with a license unless you figure out who you're going to sell the winery to. I'm like, what? This is the day before, right? So my wife is the proud sole owner of the winery. So that worked out great. So, well, it's much deserved. She's fantastic. So, and if she ever leaves, she only gets half of No Moscato right now. So that's good. good time of the year. She's gonna stick around a while, I think. So super thankful for you guys, and I implore you to come spend time with us, make yourself feel at home while you're there, and tell me when it's great, tell me when it's not perfect, so we can get better and better. And go out and read the reviews on Google. We're getting great reviews. We've had some really fun ones. That's new. I don't go to bed until I respond. So if it's 2 o'clock in the morning and I'm exhausted, the last thing I do on the day is I check. And man, it's a masochistic thing to do, but I think it's so important to check on your table while you're there, to say hi to you, to look you in the eyes and say, was it great? And you can tell, right? You can. I'm learning. Like, you can absolutely tell when it's not spot on. And so you make it right in the moments. You show your gratitude, and you make sure that people know how appreciative you are for coming the 18 minutes, the 18-minute drive, Stillwater folks, right? How appreciative I am of that 18 minutes. And I think that we're going to be around a long time and be very successful if we just follow those rules, right? The people rules. Love on people all day long, and also take some of the love back. Enjoy it, right? Stop for a second and spend time with one another. That's huge. So, so thank you for having me. I have gift cards for everybody. So.
Well, if you didn't know, now you know. You don't have to go all the way to Oklahoma City or Tulsa for a night out for great food, entertainment, and drinks. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Hey, one of the gift cards is $50. The rest are $10. I don't even know which one's which. They're all mixed up. So you won't know until you get there. But you know you got at least a free beer and at least the front end of a Moscow Mule. You have to pay the tax on the rest. It's $10. So if Karen gets there, then either way, it's go back.